Hi, and welcome to Retirement with Jim. Today, we're going to talk about some good advice from people who have retired and have done it and been there. Things that would probably make a whole lot of sense. So let's start with the know what your retirement lifestyle is going to be. It makes sense that you have thought about, what do you want out of your lifestyle? What do you want out of retirement? So that takes some thought about planning, in terms of budget and what kind of lifestyle and how much money you're going to need and to spend. And of course, that helps by starting with putting a budget together and figure out, what it is you want to do. And in that, you also then figure, what are you going to do with your time? Are you thinking about, you want to travel? Are you thinking about, maybe doing some hobbies, things that, maybe you'll just stay at home and enjoy your retirement? Will you downsize and move to a location that is, someplace sunny and warm and, if you're in a cold environment, so a lot of things to think about, a lot of choices to make. Used to be people would all want to retire to Florida after watching the last hurricane come through Florida and then go up the East Coast. It's got to make you kind of rethink what retirement in that area is like, and of course whether it's affordable. There's so many things that make sense to look at and kind of go, okay, I'm going to pause for thought on that one. So, where are you going to live? What are you going to do? Are you going to make any major changes in your life when you retire, or are you just going to just retire from work and enjoy, your life and your time? So you need to know what your lifestyle is going to be like and what you want out of it. So then along with that, the next thing is saving. You gotta put together a savings plan, and you gotta save ASAP. You gotta start. If you haven't saved, then you still have time. You can still put away money. If you've depending on how far away you are from retirement, you can still have some years in front of you to put some money aside to make that still an enjoyable retirement. I started when I was in my 40s. Boy, I wish I started in my 30s. Just give myself 10 more years of saving. I would say that I kind of like missed the boat on that one. But I was doing what I was doing, enjoying my life, and I hadn't really taken a serious look at it. Retirement wasn't on my radar at the time. Now I kind of wished it was, because remember. Without sounding preachy, whatever you do in terms of saving money, it comes down to you need to save for you. You are doing this for you, because once you hit that age, there's not possibly no one there to do it for you, and there is maybe a life of regret then that you didn't plan better. So. And sometimes that means making sacrifices while you are not retired. What can you do? Whether it's downsizing early, cutting costs, taking a look at where your budget is, and when you do budget, maybe cut costs, then put that money into saving. Do something really good with it that will help you in your later life. Remember, you're saving for the future you. Really important factor that cannot be talked about and stressed, enough. Next thing that retirees will talk about is they'll talk about don't compare yourself to others, and that is so true. You are unique to you, so there is. No need to look at others, because what someone else is doing has probably got nothing to do with what your life is going to be and or look like. A lot of traffic today because they are paving on some of the streets in my neighborhood, so I'm probably in a bad spot. But anyway, so Don't compare yourself to others because the comparison isn't equal. So it necessarily isn't a fair look at who you are compared to someone else. Part of that is because what do they want out of their retirement? Is it exactly what you want? Probably not. So it's fair to say that don't look at others, don't compare yourself to others. You might want to compare, financial data that you do research on and look at to kind of have a better understanding of where you want to land and where you need to be. And so looking at others is when you're early on and getting ready to retire and you're planning for it is not a bad idea. But once you do retire, don't compare what you have to others. And, for that matter, you probably don't share what you have with others. You just, make your plan, get it together for yourself, and then there you go. The next thing that retirees talk about is just do it. Just simply retire. So many of them will look back on their retirement and they will, a large percentage of them, probably closer to 70 to 80% of them will tell you, oh, why didn't I retire sooner? It is almost always said. People are just like, oh, I should have done this sooner. I'm happy with this. I worried too much about how much I had. And, the funny thing is, you find a way to make it work. You do. So whether you're retiring with a lot of money and whatever lifestyle you have, or just a moderate amount, or even a low amount, you still will find a way to make it happen and enjoy your life. And say, you know what, I'm done with the work world. I don't need to work or want to work anymore. And so retirees will tell you, just do it. Don't hold off another year and, and say, oh, I'm going to work another year or I'm going to work another, 2 years or 5 years. Unless pause there for that truck. Unless you know that you've got a really solid plan that in those extra year or two that you might decide to work, that you are going to save this much more additional amount of money and what you're doing with it in terms of for your retirement. So, doesn't mean you shouldn't. If you've got a really good plan in regards to working a little longer, then go for it. But as the retirees will tell you, just retire. Don't look back. You'll find a way to make it work, and none of them have any regrets of holding off longer. Every one of them will say, you, man, I should have done it sooner. And the last piece of advice they give is maintain your health. You really need to look at, where your health is at, what you need to do to maintain your health, in your retirement. So let's back that up a little bit. So you should be, as you get near retirement age and you are working towards retiring, you should also be looking at what your general health is right then and there. What can you do now when you're younger to be more healthy? Darn flies. So what can you do, whether it's a little bit of exercise, changing your diet, what can you do to make yourself as healthy as possible? Because once you are in retirement, then you've got to kind of shift to, okay, what am I going to do to stay healthy? And that means you got to stay, somewhat active. You've got to, get off the couch, get away from the front of that TV. It's an easy thing to do, to just relax, enjoy, and watch stuff on TV, and do something as simple as walking. Walking is a tremendously great thing in terms of your overall health. Keeps your joints moving. And it serves, believe it or not, movement is actually a far better thing to stay away from Alzheimer's and dementia, because they're discovering that it is more and more about movement and staying active that is essentially one of the important factors of trying to stay away from Alzheimer's and dementia. So just something as simple as walking, and but then taking, of course, a look at your diet. We all kind of like what we like. So it means some of the things that are bad for you, and you know what those things are, um, in moderation. That does not necessarily mean you have to give up everything that you like, but it means don't overindulge. Don't really chow down on the snacks and the highly processed foods. Don't consume too much alcohol. Um, it doesn't mean you can't have any of those things, but in moderation, that's a good plan. That's a good thing to do. So those are the kind of pieces of advice that the seniors that have already retired, or people who are not seniors but have retired, will tell you. So if you like my content, please hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the bell for notification of more videos. And if you like, add some comments. I try to answer all the comments as best I can. So again, this topic was all about, advice from people who have retired and what you need to do. So sometimes the best advice, of course, is from the people who have done it. They've lived it. They know it. So I'm going to tell you, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.